What is up? Welcome to another Sober Toolbox video live. I am Aaron Osberg, the Sober Life Coach. I am a coach, author, and I've been 7 years sober, and I was able to do that without AA or rehab. I was able to just take personal development, mix it in with my alcohol-free lifestyle, and I never looked back. And I created my own path, and I wanted to create some and let you guys know some of the things that I use to reset, rewire, reclaim my life from alcohol for the past 7 years. And I want you guys to live a happy, healthy alcohol life. So I want you guys to kind of have a path where I didn't have one. I had to build one. I want to help you guys create your own path and get to where you want to go. And one of the things that stops a lot of people from getting sober, living an alcohol-free lifestyle is socializing. I know that was a huge thing for me, and it's a huge thing for other people. And look, we can't hide from alcohol, right? We can't let it control us. We can't hide from it. We can't do any of those things. What we need to do is live a lifestyle that we don't need to see alcohol as a solution, and we need to go out there and live our lives with alcohol there, because the serious truth is alcohol is everywhere, right? We're not gonna be able to hide from it. We're not gonna be able to escape it. Sometimes you have a job to do, sometimes you have things to do. You got to go to barbecues. There's going to be all sorts of things over the summer, and alcohol is always going to be there. So I wanted to help you guys have a little bit of understanding about socializing while sober, and get out there and do that. We learned a little bit more about this in the Dare to Be Sober Challenge, but I thought I'd share it with some of you guys today, just because it's kind of one of those things that I really think hurts a lot of people, and it sets a lot of people back, and they have this FOMO over missing out and all these things. But the hard truth is, you're not too weak to say no. You just haven't upgraded your identity yet. I talk a lot about identity change, right? You want to become that sober 2.0 version of you. When you want to have that sober identity, but you got to start taking the actions and doing the things that sober you does. And you got to stop seeing that drunk you as something that it isn't confident, something that it isn't confident. You're not confident. You're not the person you think you are when you're drunk. I know for me, I thought I was confident. I thought it was fun. But if I actually looked objectively, I would see that I wasn't that confident. I wasn't that much fun. I was probably a sloppy mess. I just thought I was that way. So sometimes you look at our drinking with a rose-colored glasses, right? We think we're having so much fun and everyone loves us and all this stuff. But in reality, that could be something completely different. I know it was for me, and it might be for you too as well. So what's actually happening? Well, you're not caving to alcohol. You're caving to who you think you need to be to fit in. You're caving to the identity that you have, this drunk identity that you have, that you think you're fun, they think you're more outgoing, you think you're so much, you're doing this. But if you're having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drinks like I was, you start to become less fun. You start to repeat yourself. You start to do these things that are embarrassing, right? And that's not confidence. That's not showing up with the way you want to be. That's not showing other people how to respect you, right? That's being the drunk version of you. And you have this idea, or at least I did, that the drunk version of me was this great confident person, but it wasn't, right? And that's really what you want to change at the identity level, because pressure versus identity, right? Social pressure isn't an enemy. It's a test, and a test of who you decided to become, right? It's not, all these things aren't out there to get you. All these things aren't out there to stop you from living your life. They're just tests. And if you look at them as tests, you can prepare for those things, you can train for those things, and you can pass those tests in your life and get some sober wins over your belt. So you can start going out and socializing with alcohol around, and you can start, living your life without hiding from alcohol and doing these things, right? So in the very beginning, maybe you want to avoid alcohol, right? Completely. That's awesome. And the Dare to Be Sober Challenge, and a lot of the other things, my groups and my clients and things, I teach them that, take a couple weeks to adjust yourself, and take 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks sometimes to adjust yourself. But eventually you're going to have to go out there and socialize. And if that's where you are, if that's where you're at, and you want to do these things, this is going to help you today. So how do we do it, right? We talk about, identity change and all this stuff, but like, how do we do it? Well, we got to stop playing defense, right? Stop trying to protect your old identity. Start building your next level self. Stop trying to protect that drunk version of you. Stop trying to protect the idea that you are confident, that you're fun, that all these things, because you might be for a little while. But if you continue drinking like I did, I can't have just one. I have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sometimes, and then I become a sloppy mess, right? So if you're in that area, or maybe you're just feeling a little bit off because you maybe had one or two and you're acting a little bit silly, like that's the old identity. And you think this old drunk identity is confident and fun and all these things, but really objectively, if you look at it, that's not really your next level self. That's not the sober you want to portray, especially if you're in a work situation, right? If you're going out to a networking event, or you're going out to a work function, maybe a dinner with coworkers or whatever, and you're having way too many drinks, that's going to make you look bad, right? And maybe you felt that already. I know I have. That it makes you look silly. You do silly things, you say silly things, and at the end of the day, that drunk identity is the one that's holding you back. So let's get rid of that old identity that makes us more confident and fun and loosens us up, because it does, and maybe it's going to be awkward in the beginning, but you can work on that. You can have confidence without alcohol, and alcohol isn't the solution to those problems. So let's stop playing defense with our drunk selves, because that's really where this starts. And you can say this out loud to yourself: do I want to impress the crowd or lead myself? Do I want to fit in and impress everybody and just go along with the flow, because everyone else might be drinking, maybe too, right? And you want to fit in, but are you going to stand out and just be the person that says, no, I don't want to drink? Because guess what? If you start becoming that person, more people are going to see you, and those people that have a problem with you are the ones that have a problem with themselves, right? A lot of times people reflect what they want us to be, right? They reflect what's going on in their own mind. And if they have a problem with drinking, or maybe they can't socialize sober, and maybe they're not trying to do that, that is where that's their problem, and that's where they need to work on themselves. You don't need to work on yourself as much as they need to work on their own self. So if the people are pressuring you and all that stuff, you don't need to impress them. You need to lead yourself. And the more you lead yourself and the more you step out into that role, you're going to become a role model to these people. And maybe they'll consider quitting drinking, or maybe they'll consider, watching some of these videos or learning about alcohol or whatever, right? Maybe you're going to inspire somebody to do that. So a good sentence to say today is, I don't want to impress the crowd. I want to lead myself. And especially if you're a parent, you want to lead yourself. You don't want to be a bad role model to your kids as well. If you're drinking around your kids or whatever, right? A lot of the times we think, oh, I'm the fun dad that has a couple beers. Well, maybe not. Maybe you're not setting a good example, because habits are caught, not taught, right? So you need to get out there and be the sober dad, the sober mom, the sober coworker that you are, and you can lead by an example. And sometimes that example is hard, and sometimes it's hard to step onto that. But leading by an example is definitely something that has helped me a lot. I know it helped a lot of other people too. So let's flip the frame today. You're not the outsider; you're the example. I hate this idea of normal drinker, right? To me, there is no normal amount of alcohol. Alcohol is a poison, and yes, you can use it, whatever, that's up to you. But for me, I see alcohol as a poison. It's no longer a solution to my life, and there's no normal amount of poison to drink, right? If you're drinking gasoline or something, there'd be no normal amount to drink it. So the alcohol companies and marketing and all these things have rigged this game against you to make you think that you need alcohol as a solution, to make you think alcohol should be part of your life, when it really shouldn't. There's no normal way to drink. And maybe you're in that area where you think, maybe I can be a normal drinker. Awesome, cool, that's up to you. But for me, it's a poison. I don't understand it. So you're not the outsider. You're the example, right? You're the example of a healthy life. You're the example of someone who's going ahead and doing something with their life and changing the way they think, changing their habits. And that's something to be proud of, right? So you're not the outsider. You can be the example to other people, especially other people who have a problem and they just haven't learned to step out and change it yet. So you're ahead of a lot of people. And I know we're kindred spirits as well, because I was one of those people that always thought that I needed to fit in. I needed to follow the crowd and all this stuff. But once I started stepping out, I realized that I'm an example. I can be an example to other people, and you can be lead by example. You don't have to be pushy about it, but people see you, how you're acting. And when you start living a sober life, and your life gets better, and you start sleeping better, and you have better habits and all these things, you're going to be an inspiration to other people. And that's really gonna help other people as well, because now they can see that they can do it too. And it's kind of a ripple effect that way. So like I said, social pressure is a test, right? You're not too weak to say, you just haven't upgraded your social identity until now, until this series, until we learn about what we're going to learn today. So today we're going to learn about the day reflection. It's your 5 p.m. Sober playbook, or your socialized sober playbook, right? So what's a social situation where you usually fold? Think about the last time you gave in or almost did, right? What's one social situation where you usually folded, right? What's one social situation where you thought, man, I really don't want to drink tonight, but then I folded? Think about the last time you gave in or almost did. What was that? What was that time? What happened? Kind of look at that. Be aware. What happened? What was the trigger? Who was there? Right? Or were you pressuring yourself? Was someone else pressuring? Because once we can go into the situations and, okay, this is going to happen, then I can do that. That's really where the plan comes in. That's where awareness comes in. So what's one social situation where you usually fold? Is it a work function? Is it a networking event? Is it with your kids? Whatever that is, right? And then ask yourself, what fear or belief drove drove you to that decision in that moment? Was I trying to fit in to avoid judgment or escape discomfort? Who was I trying to impress and why? What kind of feelings were you have? We talk about underlying feelings and reacting and responding, right? If we just react on autopilot every time we go into a social situation, start drinking, that's not going to really help us, right? So we need to kind of look at this objectively. So let's disrupt that thought and actually think about what was the actual situation, right? And what fear or belief drove you in that decision? What were you needing, right? Was I trying to fit in? Was I trying to avoid judgment, escape discomfort? Because that's really going to be where we ask yourself these questions and ask yourself, did it actually help me in that situation? Did I actually escape discomfort? Maybe for a little while, but was it actually escaping that? I don't know, right? But for me, I know it wasn't. Did I actually fit in, or was I actually just avoiding being that leader, that someone that was able to step outside of the crowd a little bit and lead, right? And who were you trying to impress and why? Were you trying to impress other people that really didn't care in the first place, or were you trying to impress yourself? If you're trying to impress yourself and have self-confidence, then drinking alcohol is probably not the best option, right? So let's reframe that. Social pressure isn't an enemy; it's a signal. It shows you where your old identity still has roots. And let's kind of reframe these things. If you're trying to avoid judgment, did it actually help you avoid judgment, or did you drink too much and have more judgment, right? If you're trying to escape discomfort, did it actually relieve you from that discomfort? Maybe for a little while, but we've had too many drinks. That's way more uncomfortable the next day, the day after, having to face your coworkers and things, right? So that's the kind of reframe, because we don't want to see alcohol as a solution to our problems. We want to see alcohol as the problem, not the solution. Put better solutions in place. So when you start reframing this a little bit, it gives you more perspective, or at least it did for me. And then let's choose a power move to execute on today. So rate one power statement aligned with action you'll use next time you feel pressure to drink. Example, you can say to yourself, I'm good. I've got bigger things in motion, right? You can say that to somebody. You can say, drinking is not part of who I am, who I'm becoming. You can say that to yourself, right? I'm the example, not the exception. I'm the example of where I want to go. I'm the example of what other people should do. I'm the leader here. I'm gonna step out and lead, and yes, it's gonna be uncomfortable, and I'm gonna say no. And guess what? What I found when I went into social situations is the more confident you are, you just say no, even if you have to blurt it out the first time and you're really nervous. Most people just accept it and carry on, right? There are a few people that are going to try to pressure you to drink, whatever. Those are those are people that maybe you don't want in your life anyways. But the people that actually care about you are just going to carry on with their lives, and you might inspire them to look at what they're doing and change themselves as well. So you're an example, you're an exception, you're daring to step out, right? You're daring to be different, and that's amazing. So don't put that down. Don't elevate that. Don't depreciate that. Elevate that and expand on that and execute on those things. So just have a plan of motion. Say what you're going to say. I'm good, right? No is a great option to say too. Have those things in your pocket, so that when you're there, you just didn't say, no, I don't drink anymore. It's not, I'm not drinking. Because that's coming from a place of missing out and thinking thinking that you're missing out on something and normal, and you're not getting anything. You say, no, I don't drink anymore. That's power. That's saying, I don't drink anymore and I don't need it anymore. You can take it or leave it at that point. So that's something to think about. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully it helps. This is a 4-part video series. You can find it in the guide section, Motivation to Quit Alcohol, for the rest of this month, and it's going to be moved over to the Sober Toolbox in the Dare to Be Sober challenge group. So if you're not part of that group, join the Kickstart Coach first, and then I'll guide you through the 7-day sober reset, and then you will have an opportunity to join the Dare to Be Sober 30-day challenge, which is coming up, first one in August. So there'll be more about that if you join the Kickstart Coach. So you're sick of piecing these together, get a proven plan that's already helped hundreds of people. You don't need to try harder. You need identity and clarity. That's where the Kickstart Coach comes in and helps you build a 7-day Kickstart system, right? And it's daily audio lessons, D.A.R.E identity coaching. So disrupt, ask, reframe, execute. You get 7 short videos and audios. Shift your mindset every single day in your inbox. You get 24/7 support with the Kickstart Coach. It's a ChatGPT version of my book and me and my coaching. So that's there to guide you guys. Then you get workbooks, quick workbooks to help you win the day. You also get a free PDF copy of my first book, Kickstart Your Comeback. It's the first book in a 3-part series. The third book is coming out, I think, in October. Don't hold me to that, but I wanted to publish that last book in October, but I've already published the second book, which is Dare to Be Sober, the 30-day alcohol reset. In that book is coming out as well. So anyways, guys, have yourselves a meaningful day. I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully this helps. And we're going to guide you through a couple more videos. I know this video was a little bit long, but hopefully you stay to the end and you guys learn a little bit about socializing and why it's important not to avoid alcohol, but get out there and live your life. So have yourselves a meaningful day, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.